Welcome to the show. I'm Renee Marcou, singer and host of Namaste with Renee, an award-winning podcast that explores mindfulness, personal growth, and spirituality through insightful conversations with thought leaders and experts for a more meaningful and epic life. Welcome to the show, everybody. Today, I am here with my guest, Lisa Wilson. You may recognize her from a Namaste with Renee episode from season 1, where she literally blew my mind, teaching us how to heal from narcissistic, abusive relationships. Lisa is the author of a new book titled Reclaim: The Surprising Gift of Toxic Relationships. She also owns a full-time practice as a soul alignment coach. So today, Lisa's here to share healing modalities and how to rewire outdated programs and limiting beliefs when it comes to relationships and overall living aligned. So welcome to the show. Amazing, Lisa. What a joy to have you here in this space with me.
Oh my goodness, Renee. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. I'm grateful. Truly grateful.
So am I. And if anyone's recognizing you from season 1, they know the juicy information that you share with us. So I want to dive right in. Can we start by talking about your book that's coming in February of 2023?
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes.
You know, it was just a divinely inspired journey based on my own experiences and those of my clients who were so willing to share their stories and be a part of this healing for humanity, right? It's a healing for humanity.
Yes.
So many times we have been involved in relationships that have been abusive, but we're not even aware that that's what that is. It's so subtle and insidious in the way that it can function within the structure of a relationship, any relationship. I've had them across the board with coworkers and spiritual teachers and obviously relationships and in my own family system. So I definitely have had enough experience in all areas.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm happy I can laugh at the journey, to be honest, because there were moments where I didn't know how I was going to get through some of it.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And I totally resonate with you on this too. I know a lot of people know my story and my toxic relationship history in my past as well. And, you know, just one thing that really stands out is that like the relationships that get the closest to us, right? It's like anybody can experience these types of relationships in all of the settings that you had mentioned, of course, right? Like we can all kind of find somebody or some person that's in our life some way, shape, or form that has that like narcissism kind of energy that is just soul sucking or just leaving you, you know, feeling less than. And I can go back into my past too and think so many different settings as well. But one that really stands out to me is like the relationships of the primary relationship, and primary meaning boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives. Like that's where I really see a lot of how do I say it? Like this, like extra within, like it's like the most of the most, if that even makes sense. Do you find that a lot with your clients? It's really like that primary relationship.
Well, when the heart is engaged in that way, romantic love tends to go into a core.
Yes.
And that's where the real work gets to play out. Although we'll feel it in other areas, because if you're bringing it in one area of your life, I guarantee you vibrationally you're matching it in other places as well.
Yes.
It cannot not be.
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh, that makes total sense.
You know, and the book for me it's so convoluted and there's so many moving parts to it that I just wanted, it was my intention when I wrote the book to be able to see it clearly. And I cancel that because I'm not looking to, I've done that chapter of my life. I no longer have to have that experience.
Right. Yes. Yes.
But I asked to see it. And then I wanted to be able to find a way of healing from it and see. And because it's so convoluted, it's not as simplistic as you would think it would be. Like once I get to understand this type of pattern, I'll see it. No. In fact, that's where the whole book took a turn. I was writing it about a year and a half in, and I sat there and I just had like a full download and aha moment where, wait a minute, this is not about other focused. There's no way you are going to be able to prevent something like this from coming into your life, because it's so good that the energy and the way that these people manipulate and behave work in such a shadow. I call it shadow magician. So they're psychic in a way that is not of the divine light, right? It's all love, it's all light.
Yeah.
But it's used for service to self instead of service to other, is how that's the most simplistic. So it's hard to see it because it's very elusive. And oh my goodness, that was like, wait a minute. So I sat there going, so what's it about then? What's about the self? It's about, once you see it, how do we feel when we shore up our own side of the street and we close our back door, right? And I talk about coming in through our back door. We're focused here on making sure everything in our life is a vibrational alignment. We're cleaning up our stuff. We're doing the thing. We're living our life. And back here, you got somebody coming in who's a vibrational match to something you're not even aware of at a subconscious level within you, that's stealing your groceries. They're stealing out your back door.
Right.
You don't even see them coming. So when I flipped the book, I rewrote the whole thing at that point and thought, oh, wow, this is what this is about. Yeah. This isn't focusing on narcissistic abusive relationships. It's focusing on the way we get magnetized into them, the way we are aligned with them, and how we clean up ourselves so we never have to say yes to that again.
Oh, I love that so much that you shared that. Thank you. To all the listeners, I was blessed to read Lisa's book before it even came to press. And oh my goodness, there's a special message in the book from me that Lisa featured on. Oh my goodness, I could cry. I get so emotional about it.
Me too.
The book literally moved me like past so many limits and limitations and old belief systems. And I would read a page and I would be, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be taking notes. I need to pause after this. Like it was so moving for me. And one of the things that I absolutely loved about the book is that it's not focused on, like you said, like that person who did all these things and you bring up all these emotions of like anger towards them or blame or anything. It's like literally rewriting how you want your story to go next. It's building up those boundaries and the other tools that you now can put in your toolbox so that you don't attract or magnetize those types of relationships. And that was it for me, Lisa. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I even mentioned that to your publicist, at your right, everybody who's involved with the book. And I was just like, this is a book to help people move forward. And that's what I love about it, because your tools are so powerful and potent. And they have moved me in a matter of reading that within a couple months. Cause I'm a slow reader. I take my time, but wow.
I'm the same. I'm a slow reader too. And I've had to rewrite it and re-edit it. And every time I have gone back in for the beginning part of writing the book, I used to nickname it The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, if you've ever seen that movie.
Yes.
Because every time I was aligned with another story and person who was willing to share and wanted to share, be a part of this transformation for not only themselves, but others who were aligned with it, their life would go under a complete shift. And I thought, wow.
Yeah.
So I really felt that the book was a book for those of us, all of us, our voice that needed to be heard. Those of us that needed to be heard, needed to be seen, to say, you're not crazy. This really happened. These things really do happen. These
And
are why they happen.
yes, and not pushing it under the rug. It's like, let's let this be a phase. Let's let this be a part of us that we can take control over and change for our future. And for those that we teach, or we have clients, or if we have children, you know, it's like instilling all of that in them as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. You know, in fact, I dedicated the book to my son. And I said, you know, should you ever find your way lost, if you ever find that you're lost on your path, may this book be your map. Like I didn't know that I would ever actually bring it out into the world. I actually wrote it for him.
Wow.
The hope. And for my little girl, right? My inner child that really needed to hear and be seen and to be loved and reclaimed. I had to reclaim myself fully.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, this book is absolutely amazing and so beautiful, such an elegant way to really reclaim that inner child for all of us. So thank you for putting this out there. And I'm literally going to be sending it to so many people. I know that for sure. And anybody who's interested in learning more about it, at the end of the episode, we can tell them where they can find the new book. But I'm wondering, like, if there's one tool that sticks out that maybe you shared in the book that you could offer the listeners today, if they're kind of finding themselves in maybe into that shame or into that guilt of like that they've magnetized a relationship in this way. Do you have any empowering tools or words to share with them?
Oh yeah. Thank you for asking that question. You know, one of my biggest ahas is a spiritual mentor that I had been working with all year and doing a lot of my own shadow healing. A couple of years ago, she gifted me with an aha that was so beautiful, and I always knew that our outer life was mirroring back to us whatever our vibrational frequency was. It's the way we kind of set it up so we could find our way through the muck. Right? When we can't see it, because our persona, our ego, protective ego self wants to keep us safe. And so not always are we able to see clearly. So there are two parts to this tool that I want to gift everybody with. One is anytime we're justifying, anytime you're in justification, there's always something there for you to take a deeper look into. So you're lying to yourself somewhere. You just have to figure out where. So when you're justifying, reasoning with yourself, you're justifying a behavior, a situation, you want to ask yourself, anytime we ask ourselves a question, the brain will you'll get the answer. You'll give yourself the answer. You want to win in this life experience. So you want to be able to, we've set it up to find the way out. So if you ask the question, like, where am I lying to myself? You will be shown. What am I not willing to see is another really powerful tool. I call them tools for transformation. And these things will shift your whole experience of your life. So what am I not willing to see? Where am I lying to myself? Why am I justifying the situation? And it'll come to you. And the other one was, you know, when we're looking at the mirror and we're saying, okay, if everything is a mirror, what does that really mean? Because if I'm involved with relationships, you know, I hate to label it, but we're going to label it because most people understand the label. But really, everybody has the ability to shift and transform themselves. It's up to them. So narcissistic personality disorder is a very specific personality disorder that plays out in a certain way. So if I was filling my world with narcissistic experiences and thinking to myself, well, I know I'm not a narcissist, so what is it mirroring back to me? And this mentor gifted me with this flip of the switch it saved my life, literally. And I hope it just saves somebody. Somebody needs to hear this, and I hope it really resonates. So what makes up the behavior of a narcissist? So at the root, it's extreme self-loathing. So yeah, that's a mirror of my own childhood, right? Like where I've grown up feeling completely disconnected from the truth of who I am. So a level of self-loathing. So that's a mirror. But the behavior that I've been experiencing, gaslighting, shaming, blaming, love bombing. So when you actually turn that to look at yourself, where do I gaslight myself? This is a really big piece. This is where everything will transform for you. So if I'm gaslighting myself, oh my goodness, of course I didn't do it right. This is my childhood story. Not enough, not good enough. You didn't do it right. You'll never get ahead. You're not this, you're not that. Well, those stories I carried on to adulthood. And they've been playing out underneath the surface. Have they been really loud? No, I've been doing my whole life has been diving into deep transformational work since I can even remember.
Right.
But so I would overlay it, right? You know, Abraham Hicks, God love Esther, and channeling of Abraham when she says you can't put a happy sticker over an empty gas tank. Right. So you could tell yourself unicorns and rainbows all the way through, like I'm okay, I got this, I've done a lot of work. But the vibrational frequency that's underneath the surface is really that gaslight piece, where you beat yourself up, where you're shaming yourself, where you're blaming yourself. The thing that you're experiencing as far as the dominant personality goes within the person, if it's jealousy, okay, where in me is that firing up my own issues around jealousy, competition, not enough? If it's love bombing, where am I love bombing myself? Right? That is that overlay, trying to fix it by saying enough positive words, the happy sticker over an empty gas tank, to try to make it better. Like, okay, if I say it enough, we've been told this on the spiritual platform, eventually the affirmation will take root. Not if underneath it is where the root lives. You have to pull it out by the roots. You got to get the root.
Yes.
And when you hit that Achilles heel, it's destabilizing for a hot second. It'll rattle you when you get to the Achilles, the root of it. And you see that part of yourself where you've been beating yourself up, where you've been blaming, shaming, and you catch yourself in it. You're like, oh my goodness, I would never want to treat anybody like that, especially myself.
Yeah.
So then we reparent ourselves from that place of self-love. We give ourselves the things and that's where eventually that will shift. The energy will shift because it's based in a truth, the truth of who you are. Perfect, complete, and whole is the truth of who you are.
Yes. Yes. Oh, wow. That is amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you for that share. That's very much a big shift that can take place for anybody who sits down and gives themselves the time to really feel into those questions and really do that work for self so that you can come out on the other side feeling a lot more aligned and a lot more confident in the relationships that you do attract from here forward. So that was both beautiful tools. Thank you so, so much. I know the listeners are loving that. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. I'm all about everybody's win.
Yes.
Including my own.
That's right. All of us. That's
all of us.
Yes. Yes. It's oneness, right? We have that connection, that soul connection to our soul family here.
That's right.
I feel the same way. And just this thought is coming through my mind that I just want to share. Anytime I pray for something for self, this desire, my heart's desire, I pray for that for others as well. Because if we're all praying for billions and billions of people, like we have billions of people on the planet, and I know that there's other people who do that too. They pray for the whole collective. They pray for the planet. They pray for the vibration, that everybody gets to receive. And we all have the ability to tap into that. And
right.
imagine you're being prayed for without even knowing about it. It automatically just gives you the sense of, oh my gosh, like somebody out there cares too.
Right. And right. It hits home. I remember being in moments where I thought, wow, I, I don't, I don't know how to find my way out of this. And I just sat on the floor and just prayed, dear God, show me the way, show me the way. And I remember just feeling, if I could support what I have learned, another person to come through this with some tools, something that will help shift them. Oh my goodness. Then then it's been all worth it.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And I love, Lisa, that you stepped up to the plate to do this work too. I know you are a dear friend of mine. We have soul to soul conversations all the time. And I'm so grateful for that. We're actually, everybody, we have the same birthday too. We're moon babies. We have so many similarities in our life. But Lisa, just for you to show up for the call, because what you're birthing for all of us to experience is personal stories to you. Like, it takes courage and self-love and vulnerability to put yourself into this book, and all of the people who dedicated to this book to be able to put it on blast like that in the world. And I see you, and I know that this book is going to massively transform people's lives. So where can everyone find the new book?
Thank you. Thank you. Oh.
Yeah.
So they could go to my landing page, which is www.lisajwilson.com, and they could opt in. And as soon as the book, it's just timing now. It's almost there. We're so close. But I will put a newsletter out as soon as it launches, for sure. You will get word of where you can find it.
Oh, that's amazing. So everybody can just go to your website, opt in, and then they'll get the information. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Beautiful. And do you envision it being across the world? Like, is it just in a few countries? I know I have listeners from all over the planet.
I don't know, right? My intention is to bring it out into the world globally, for sure. And right now, I know it's going to be available on Amazon, which everybody can find it.
Awesome.
So,
great.
So it will definitely be up there. It'll be on my website, and I'll have other places as well as soon as it starts to take off in that way.
Gosh, amazing. And to everybody who's going to find Lisa's book, just to let you know, bring a notebook with you, or a journal when you're reading the book, because there's going to be things that just stick out that you want to dive into more, or some of her tools that are just going to help you just really cultivate more of that self-love. And so many miracles just unfold from that place. And Lisa, we could go on forever. But make sure, I'm actually going to have my production company put in your link. So if you're watching this video, you'll see above or below the link to Lisa's page. And then if you are just tuning in on the audio, it's lisajwilson.com. And go on in and subscribe, because other than this book, she does other amazing things too that we didn't even talk about today. But you definitely want to be a part of her community, especially if you're feeling that energy and that connection to Lisa. She's 100% activated so much healing in my life. And I just am so thrilled to connect to you, to the loving souls who are a part of Namaste with Renee. So thank you again, Lisa, for being a guest. And we're wishing the most amazing success upon this book for you.
Thank you so much, Renee. And thank you so much to everyone out there. I really wish everyone the most success in their lives.
Same here.
Whatever needs to happen for that.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Lisa, let's
you.
have you back on the show when your book is launched, and you can share some more amazing feedback or tools. Maybe we'll have some questions from people that you want to address at that point.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Renee. I can't say thank you enough.
Yes. Well, to all the listeners, you know where to find us. over on YouTube, love Renee Marcou. Make sure you subscribe to get all of the notifications when we launch a new episode. If you're in the Facebook community or you haven't joined us yet, go ahead over to Facebook, find us at Namaste the Podcast, so you can also be notified for new guests who are in there. Also, a lot of the people the experts are also in that group. You want to connect with us in that group. So go head over to Facebook, Namaste the Podcast, and join the community. The light in me honors the light within each and every single one of you. Namaste.
Namaste.